Thanks for joining me today, everybody. Just a little update. I'm still waiting for some parts to arrive to complete the unit, but I want to do a little video here showing you some gameplay and show you that I currently have all the controls currently working in the unit. And so, trying to keep this looking stock, my buttons were limited. We have a 4 or 8-way position joystick, player button number 1, player button number 2, a quarter button, a player 1 start button. The speaker will be housed here, and to exit a game you'll press the quarter and the player 1 select button at the same time. Most likely I'll add a button on the back for the actual power down of the unit. Now, the way I set up this game for Asteroids, it's one of my favorite games. The fire button number 1 is your fire button for your missiles. Left and right rotate your ship left and right. Pressing forward on the joystick is your thrust, and you have the option of pulling back for hyperspace or setting your secondary button as hyperspace. Currently it is set as pulling back, and it works pretty well. The joystick is not so easy where it's easy to hit hyperspace or thrust when you don't want to. As you can see, pressing both buttons on the bottom will exit the game back to your main menu. Now, I know looking at the screen it may not look too clear, but trust me, it looks better in person. Partially, I still have the screen protector plastic on this screen here, and it's not on all the way. And also, my cell phone is not the best at capturing the differences in light, but trust me, the screen is pretty sharp. And as you see, I'm going to press the left button to insert a quarter, then the right button to initiate player 1 start, and the joystick is simply set up as a 4-way, up, down, left, and right for Mr. Dig Dug, and the player 1 button will initiate your air pump. Again, the joystick and the fire buttons are pretty responsive. I'm really impressed with how well they work. They seem like they're stiff when you're using it, just like moving the joystick around. But in actual use, it works fairly well. It's pretty crisp in its reaction times to your presses. Drop in a quarter, press player 1 start, and we have some Donkey Kong. And again, the controls are fairly simple. We have the joystick set up as a 4-way joystick, and the start pause button is our fire or our jump button for Jumpman. Remember, he wasn't called Mario yet. He was simply known as Jumpman, who was saving his girlfriend Pauline. Again, I'm pretty impressed on how well the joystick and the fire buttons respond. I have to hold the unit pretty steady because it's still not sealed in the back and everything's still kind of loose. But the joystick responds very well and is pretty accurate in its movements in up, down, left, and right. And the fire button, again, works very well. The fire buttons are a little bit on the loud side, but they work, which is really what matters. Once there's a sound card here and there's a speaker playing, you probably won't notice the fire button sounds much at all. Again, a pretty straightforward control setup: up, down, left, and right on the joystick, and the player 1 fire button for your jump. Once again, pretty straightforward controls. Put a quarter in, player 1 start. Your directional pad is up, down, left, and right, and that's really all you need. No fire buttons necessary. Right now I have not made any modifications to the controller setup, so right now the player 1 button is your fire, left and right, and the joystick turns your ship left and right, but the secondary button is your thrust. This will most likely be changed to be like the Asteroids, where button 1 will be your fire, left and right for turning, and probably pressing forward for thrust. Now, as a kid, this is probably one of the games, more than any other, that ate a lot of my dollars, silver dollars, $2 bills, and everything else that I had. This was one game that definitely hooked me, and again, the controls are pretty easy. You just need left and right movement and the player 1 fire button. Now a game like Splatterhouse is a little more involved than the other games I had. You do need to be able to move your character left and right. Your player 1 button will be your swinging, but you need, by default, the player 2 button would be your jump. And that's currently how it's set up right now, so you can move left and right, and the player 1 button will be your punch or swing, but you have to move over to hit the secondary button for your jumping. Now you can always change the controls, and I'll probably do that, to set it so pressing up on the joystick will be the jump. But as we all know, a lot of times games that use the up button on the joystick or the up movement in the joystick usually cause you to jump when maybe you didn't really mean to. But for right now, again, just trying to keep this initial prototype as stock as possible. For this type of game, it would probably be easier than going over to the other side to hit that button. Now Space Zap basically just uses 4 directions, up, down, left, and right, and the fire button. You simply move your turret to the direction you want to shoot, and once you're facing that direction, just press the player 1 action button to fire at your enemy. So since we're running RetroPie, we have not only MAME installed, we have the Atari Lynx, Atari 7800, the Atari 2600, Vectrex, and of course the RetroPie setup, PC Engine, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and you can install many others, but that's all I have currently installed in here right now, which is more than enough games to be running on this little device, which I'm getting pretty happy with, but I'm just really waiting for my final parts to complete it. So I'd like to thank you and all my subscribers for taking your time to look at my videos. I do appreciate you spending time with me looking at some of the projects I'm doing. And when this one gets the final parts in, I'll make a third and final video with it all completed. I really do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please like, share, and subscribe, and tell your friends. And remember everyone, enjoy the classics, enjoy gaming, and game on.